Okay, we're going to talk about weather. Uh, I know a lot of you look outside and think, oh, it's a nice day. Let's go have some fun outside. Or maybe other days you'll think it's not so nice and say, wow, why did it rain today? It wasn't forecasted. Uh, we're going to explore why there are issues in weather, how we observe the weather, and what weather actually is. So, first chapter, just talking monitoring the weather. So, what are some of the basic characteristics? Well, if I walked outside and I wanted you to describe the weather to me, what would you do? Now, for me, anyways, I would want to know the temperature because I want to know how to dress for that day. Maybe I want to know it's going to feel a lot hotter. Even in the wintertime, if you have more humidity, it feels a little warmer. Uh, how cloudy is the day going to be? Maybe I want to get a suntan, or maybe I don't want to get sunburned. Is it going to be precipitation today? All these winds. I want to know where the wind's coming from, how strong the wind is. And all these play in different things we do. Uh, so weather is what is going on right now. So if you walk outside your door at this moment in time, that's the weather. If you walk it out 5 minutes later, that's the weather then. It's not what you had before. That's past weather. And notice I'm not saying weather forecast. I'm just saying weather. And meteorology is just a study of this. Climate, on the other hand, looks at an average of weather. And climatology looks at more, what are the bounds that our weather can take? How extreme can it get? And all that. So, in order to track the weather, I want to know what the weather is all across the United States at exactly the same moment in time. So, doing that, we use something called Greenwich Mean Time. Basically, that if you walked over in the center of England, that's whatever time that is right now. And that translates to a 4 or 5 hour difference, depending on whether it's Eastern Daylight or Eastern Standard Time in the Eastern United States. And it's even more than that further west as you go. But we're going to, we want all the same time to have the weather. There are different types of weather systems, high and low pressure. We're going to go explore those a little bit and how they rotate around. There are air masses. For example, right now over a lot of the United States is a fairly cool air mass, fairly dry. It will be a continental polar air mass. The other day around my house, we had very humid conditions, very tropical feeling. That would be more a maritime tropical air mass. And there are fronts that we've just talked about, cold fronts and warm fronts. So if I want to know, we talked about describing the state of the weather. All of these different things play in to what weather is and how we're going to go about it. We're going to learn what causes clouds. Why, when I look outside, some days I see these relatively low cumulus clouds like I do today. Yet yesterday at my house, I saw some pretty big ones. And we had thunderstorms around. Sometimes it's just some cirrus clouds floating by. Fog, just a cloud that's in the ground, right by the ground. So all of this, well, let's look at a couple things on the weather. Let's just start looking at a current weather map. So here is where things are going to get interesting for you. You're going to explore all kind of weather maps. And I'm going to give you some videos to try to help you understand that. But right now, this is a weather map which was taken at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So we have low pressure right here off of New England. We have a cold front that goes south all the way through the southeastern United States. Then there's a warm front. So on this map, blue and the triangles indicate cold. Warm is indicated by red and a semicircle. You will get to know that very well this year. High pressure has a big H. It's the higher pressure. Air has weight. You're going to learn about that as well. Low pressure means that we have less weight there. And the atmosphere is always trying to correct that. The atmosphere would like nothing better than for the temperatures and pressure to all be the same all over the world. Can't happen, but it would like that. So this is the current weather map. You'll notice on here are little symbols. They're the current weather conditions plotted for a given location. Maybe Indianapolis, Indiana, right here. Or somewhere in Canada, up in here. Houston, Texas, Galveston area, right here. Miami, Florida, down here. They describe the weather at that station. So you're going to learn how to read that as well. So this is just one mechanism of putting observations and understanding what's going on in the current weather. Another one might be radar. So I thought I would go and look at, you had a tornado in Ohio here recently. This tornado occurred with this storm right here and moved in this direction. It didn't go very far. It was rated at EF1, I believe, when I looked at it here. But it shows it right here, this track. This is the warning area, and it was on this storm. Notice how the colors get redder and redder. They actually will eventually get white if they're very intense. These are intensities, reflectivity. There's also velocity we can get at this as well. And from all of that, we can calculate things like precipitation. Finally, I wanted to show you, just look at a quick satellite image. So what is going on if you look at a satellite picture? Well, we can run a loop of satellite here maybe, and we'll see that what we have in this case are covering the United States in different spots, and we can look at where they are. In other words, I can't have observations in every single inch of the United States, but satellite images that cover that. You'll notice there's a lot of clouds over the Great Lakes right now. Believe it or not, that's caused by something in the upper atmosphere, not at the surface. Then you as well. Right across the northern part of there and out this way. We'll have a warm air mass coming up by looking at satellite. If you were out in California right now, look along the coast and you'll see a lot of fog there, don't you? That's low clouds. So this